status report, Signifier.
Sir, our defenses have been breached. We have intruders within our citadel.
What damage have they done to the gates?
None, sir. They slipped in without us having to really fight on a large frontal assault.
So does that mean that they're still in the compound?
Aye, they're in our defenses.
Then start sending out to the warbands. Search them out, destroy them. I want their heads on a platter. Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of our Lonesome Road Warcry campaign, the Eternity Spire. Last time we saw our brave eyes of the Kosmos infiltrate the Iron Golem Citadel on their way to the Eternity Spire. Today they are making their way through that citadel. So we'll go ahead and go into our story map, get you caught up on the map, and then get our game set up. The eyes of the Kosmos have infiltrated the Iron Golem Citadel. As they make their way through the Citadel, they must dodge the defenders who are now put onto high alert. They almost made it through without a scratch, but at the very end, the Luminate of the warband was struck down by a brutal blow from the Dominar. Will they continue to make it through this citadel unscathed, or will they have more fighters join the dead that the Iron Golems have claimed? So here's our warband for the Eyes of the Kosmos for today's game. I am down an old warrior because I am using house rules that when you earn glory, you must spend it as soon as you earn it, since that's step 1 in the aftermath sequence, and adding fighters is step 4. Because I did not choose to add a fighter in step 1 to spend it, my Luminate, who was slain last game, is out for this game. At the end of this game, I'll be able to spend my glory again for a new fighter. This just helps keep it balanced because it's a player versus an AI, and it gives some consequences for actual deaths. So, let's go through who is in our warband. We have Thrall Master Vigus. He is our Thrall Master right here. We also have 2 Mindbounds, which are these 2 right here with the swords and the whips. We have a Mirror Blade with dueling swords. And we also have a Mirror Blade with glaive. Last game, 2 of my warriors earned Destiny points. And a simple way that I like to signify that, it was this Mirror Blade with glaive and this Mindbound with his weapon is the double-bladed sword. As you can see on their base, I just painted with thin paint a white line. That is an easy way that I like to use to signify glory. How many or destiny, how many lines they have is how many destiny points they have. And if they lose it, it's easy to just repaint over with the base color. That way it doesn't affect the models. So, that is my warband for the Eyes of the Kosmos for today's game. And here's our warband for the Iron Golems AI. It's going to be looking a little bit familiar. It's the same army. I'm not having them take any casualties or destiny levels because they are the AI. It just would be a little bit more than I want to keep track of. So this warband is composed of a Dominar. He is their leader. In this warband, there is also an Ogre Breacher. And we also have the Signifier. In this warband, there's also a Drill Master with an Armator. And finally, we have 2 Iron Legionaries with shields and 1 Iron Legionary with bolas. And here's how I am splitting up my warband. It's similar to how it was last time, but it's a little bit more defensive without that Luminate on the field. It does make me feel significantly more fragile. All of my warriors have 10 wounds except for the Thrallmaster, who's 20. And everyone is, I believe, toughness 3, except for the Thrallmaster, who is toughness 4. So we're pretty fragile. We can hit hard, but we are fragile. So my shield consists of my Thrallmaster, my Mirror Blade with Glaive that has 1 Destiny level, along with a Mindbound. The theme of my army is to have 1 fighter engage and then have backup from the 2-inch range weapons. My hammer is a Mindbound with a Mirror Blade with Glaive, and then my dagger is the Mirror Blade with dueling swords and the Mindbound with double-bladed sword. That's how my army will be broken up into our battle groups for this mission. And now let's go ahead and roll off for the battle groups for the Iron Golems AI. Remember, you want to group them based off of a D3 roll, so 1s and 2s are together, 3s and 4s are together, and 5s and 6s are together. So starting with front to back, this Iron Legionnaire, 6, Armadar, 2, Iron Legionnaire with shield, 6, Iron Legionnaire with bolas, 5, Ogre Breacher, 1, Drill Master, 6, oh dear, Signifier, 1, and Dominar. We'll reroll that, that guy is cocked, is a 2. So let's go ahead and split them up in groups based off of their roll. So here are our battle groups that were spread out. According to the Lonesome Road, the group with the most fighters becomes the shield. If both groups have an even amount of fighters, then the one with the highest point cost becomes the shield. So this group of 4 will become the shield. For our other group, we will roll a dice. On a 1, 2, 3, that group is the hammer. On a 4, 5, 6, that group is the dagger. So that is a 6. This group is the dagger. And because you always need 3 battle groups, according to the Lonesome Road rule set, if your dice rolls result in a group not having a fighter, take the fighter from the hammer or dagger groups, whichever does have models in it, with the lowest point costs and move them over to the empty battle group. So for this setup, that means that the Iron Legionary with the bolas is the lowest cost model. He will become our hammer. So we have our shield, our hammer, and our dagger. Normally you would use a terrain card to set up your terrain, but I like to set up my own terrain, so that's what I will be doing. So for the inside of the Iron Golem Citadel, here's what we got going on. The next deck that we'll draw from is our deployment deck. So go ahead and pick a random one from here. This is actually significantly harder to do while you're making sure the camera is pointed to where you want it to be. Alright, so here is our deployment. The Unseen Blade. So we'll have our shields starting in the middle, hammers coming in on round 2, along with daggers coming in on round 2 as well. Since we're on the Lonesome Road, the controlling player always takes the red. So my Cypher Lords, my Eyes of the Kosmos, are going to be deploying on the red shield. The Iron Golems will be deploying on the blue. The next card to draw is our Victory Condition. Again, the Unseen Road has victory conditions that they recommend, just because they work well with the AI, they work well with attacker and defender, and they work well with how the system works. So we'll go ahead and draw our victory condition, which is the Raid. Move swift and let the fires of gods engulf your foes. Players roll off, the winner chooses who's the attacker and who's the defender. During the Lonesome Road, the controlling player is always the defender. The defender places 6 objectives on the battlefield, each more than 4 inches from any other objective on the battlefield edge. The attacker can choose to burn an objective they control at the end of a battle round. To do so, remove it from play. If the attacker burns 3 objectives, they win the battle. Otherwise, at the end of the 3rd battle round, the defender wins. We're going to go with this that the attacker will always choose to burn an objective that they control. And our last card to pull is the Twist. Again, the Lonesome Road has recommended twists to use that works well with the system. I've gone ahead and drawn those out for our deck. So our twist today is going to be double or nothing. Roll a dice. On a 1, 2, 3, no twist cards are used this battle. On a 4 through 6, draw 2 more twist cards, redrawing cards with the Fate rune mark, and redrawing the second card if it has the same rune mark as the first. Both twists are in effect. So we'll go ahead and roll our dice. 1 to 3, it is none. 4 to 6, it's 2. Woo! 6, 2. Alright, so double or nothing. We want to redraw Fate rune marks and redraw anything with the same. This is not a Fate rune mark, so eager for the fight. Add 1 to move characteristics of all fighters for this battle. And not a Fate, not the same one. Bloodwind. Add 1 to the attacks and strength characteristics of all fighters this battle with 1 or more damage points allocated to them. Okay, so we're going to be moving faster. And if we take any wounds, we are going to be adding 1 to our attack and strength. Let's go ahead and get our fighters set up on the battlefield and go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I have set up my 6 objectives. The attacker just needs to control them, which means they need to have more models within 3 inches of them in order to control it. If they control it at the end of a battle round, they can remove it, and when they remove 3 objectives, they win. Otherwise, I will win at the end of the 3rd battle round. So let's go ahead and set up our shields, since those start on the board 6 inches from the center. So now that we have our board set up, let's go ahead and roll off for initiative for round 1. Alright, so we have double 3s. Ooh, double 3s and a quad 4. That's actually that's going to be helpful. Thinking about what I want to do with my wild dice. I think I want to be reactive, and I think just based off of what I've rolled, it will be okay to just see how the game lies up. So let's go ahead and roll off. 1, 2, 3. The AI will go first. 4, 5, 6. I will take first move. And that is a 5, so I will take first move. So already from this first turn, I'm feeling bit of pressure. I am a model down, and all that they need to do is have more models to control and burn. And once they have burned 3 objectives, they win. So I am going to go ahead and make my first move the unexciting wait for this Mindbound. So that means it is the Ogre's Breacher's turn next, so let's go and see how he's going to react. That is a 1, which I believe is going to be Cunning, which is not what I wanted. So let's see where he moves. So that roll is indeed Cunning, so this Ogre Breacher is going to move. So he'll jump down here, we'll roll for impact damage. He would most likely jump in a way that doesn't land him within dangerous terrain, but I'll double check the rules. I believe it's within an inch, and he avoids that, otherwise he'll take 2 impact damage, and that will just move on to this objective. I might have to sacrifice and let one go. So going through the rules, you only suffer impact damage from dangerous terrain if you end a move on it or you fall within an inch of it. Since this was a jump, he does not suffer it, so he'll just suffer the impact damage from jumping down 3 inches. So on a 4-5, it will be 1 damage. On a 6, it will be 3. So he takes 1 damage. Only 29 more to go. For my second activation, I'm going to remember that my twist was double or nothing, so they have eager to the fight, which means they have +1 move. If I remember that last turn, I think I would have done something drastically different. That's okay. So we're going to move 3 inches to the wall. Then we'll go ahead and move 3 inches up the wall, which is 6. So that is our first move. Then I think I'm going to use my quad 4 for leaping somersault. So the way that spinning somersault works is this fighter can fly when making move actions until the end of their activation. However, when flying, they cannot move vertically upwards more than 3 inches. But the important part is that this fighter makes a bonus move action, then they can make a bonus attack action. I really need to get on the offensive here, so with the extra inch, I should be able to get into range. Alrighty, so looking at the ruler, 6 inches gets us straight into base range, going vertically because I can act as if I'm flying and jump, and now we're going to attack into the Dominar. Hopefully we'll be able to do some big wounds onto him, but I need to get offensive, and I need to gum them up because I'm already going to be losing 1 objective. Alrighty, so here is our attack. Our other second twist is Bloodwind, which is add 1 to the attack and strength characteristics with all fighters with 1 or more damage points. So I don't have any damage points yet, so I am just going to be doing 5 attacks at strength 4. My opponent is toughness 4, so I'll be looking for 4, 5s, and 6s. 4s and 5s do normal damage of 2, 6s do damage crits of 6. So let's see what we get. Alrighty, so it looks like we are getting 10 damage so far on our first attack, and our second attack will be, we'll reroll that guy's cocked, will be another 10 damage, so those 2 attacks will be enough to take out the Dominar. Alright, so Dominar's dead. Let us see how the Signifier will avenge his lord. That's Cunning again, so he is moving towards the closest objective. He is just like, nope. Unfortunately, he might have to jump over dangerous terrain because the dwarf behind him is blocking the way. He can't move through any fighters. He might be able to jump, but he's still going to move into closest, which would be over where the breacher is. So he would move here, up 2 inches and jump, and then move another, let's see, he's base 4, so 2 inches to there. And that's where he's going to land. Let's see if he takes any impact damage. He does not. So let's go to my next activation, which will be my Mirglaive and let me think about what I'm going to do with him. I'm actually going to go ahead and move this waiting mindbound. I know that an enemy fighter is going to be coming in over here, so they will move 6 inches for our twist. And now that goes to our dwarf. He is the last one of the Iron Golems to not have gone, and he will roll a 2. Let me double check what that is, but I believe that's Cunnin once again. Things are really not looking good for our heroes. The closest objective is the unmanned one, so he will move his 4 and then 4 for our twist. Normally he's moving 3, but he will move to right here and be in control of that objective at the end of this turn. My last activation is over here, and I think the smart defensive move is just going to move him so he is 1 move away from any of these objectives to be able to attack and hold. So that is the end of turn 1, which means that this objective that the Ogre Breacher is on is burned, as well as this objective that the Dwarf is on is burned. So already we are looking grim. We got 2 more turns to go, and the Iron Golems just need to burn 1 more objective, which they have one right there that's in range, another one on that side of the board that the dead Iron Golem is guarding, and then 2 over here. So we will see how this goes. Let's go to our start of turn 2. Alright, rolling our initiative dice for turn 2. We have double 2s. That one was a 4. Double 2s, a 4, a 3, a 6, and a 5. And I have 2 wild dice this turn since I haven't used any. I think I will use one of them to make it a triple 2, and another wild dice to make it a double 6. So I'll have a triple 2 and a double 6. Now reserves come on. I'll go ahead and place those down. And let's go ahead and roll off for initiative. 1, 2, 3 will be Iron Golems. 4, 5, 6 it will be me. Alright, so the Iron Golems will go first. Let's do some measurements and see who will activate first. Okay, so the Iron Golem is going to be the first activation. Let's see what he does. 1 is Cunnin, so he's going to move towards the closest model. So he's going to go ahead, or closest objective, which will be 5 inches. So that's 3 to there, then 2 to there. So he will be right in here, right up against the wall. And if he was within range, which is an inch, he's not, he'd be able to attack. And since he is still within range of one of my fighters, he is not able to move again. So that is Iron Golems. Activation number 1. Now it is off to me. So after some careful consideration, I believe the smartest move will be to move him next. So he'll jump down. He'll fall 3 inches, see if he takes any fall damage, which will put him within range of the signifier. So let's see if he takes fall damage. He does not. I kind of wanted him to, so that way he would get the twist condition for the extra attack and extra strength. But let's go ahead and attack into the signifier. Alright, so the signifier is toughness 4. I'm strength 4, 5 attacks, so looking for those 4, 5s, and 6s. That is nothing. I guess he is tired after killing off the Dominar. So, no wounds going into signifier, and we'll see what goes next with the Iron Golems. Alright, so next up on the Iron Golems is the signifier. He's the next closest. Let's see what his activation is. It's a 1. So that is Cunnin. An interesting dilemma that I've come up with here is cunning as you make a move action towards the closest objective. However, since we are in Warcry, a unit that is within an inch of another enemy unit is considered to be engaged. So since he's making a cunning action, is he able to move away as the move action? So I'm just curious as to what rule takes precedence. I'll probably email the original creator and see what they had in mind. But I'm going to roll a dice. On a 1, 2, 3, he is able to disengage and move his 4 inches towards the closest objective. On a 4, 5, 6, he has to still stay within an inch, but he can still move around freely as normal. My guess is the intention is that if like a fighter was the objective and they were within an inch of 2 fighters, they would move towards the objective fighter, but we'll see what happens. So 1, 2, 3 he can move normally. 4, 5, 6 he has to stay within an inch. Alright, so he's going to move normally. So that would mean the closest objective to him is over by the Iron Golem again. So he is going to go ahead and move his 5 inches to here towards the objective in the closest route, which will also be most advantageous. And because he moved into range, he'll go ahead and attack that enemy fighter. Alright, so the Signifier has 3 attacks at strength 4, going into my toughness 3. So that is going to be 4, 6, 8 wounds into my fighter. Alright, so for my turn over on this side of the board, these fighters are safe for now. I need to choose to either try and get rid of the dwarf or to start defending over on this right side from the Drow Master and the Iron Legionaries. I think I want to play a little bit more defensively on this side of the board, so I think that means going after the dwarf is the best option. So the Mirror Blade will go ahead and move 6 inches, and then we'll go ahead and attack into the Armator. Alrighty, so the Mirror Blade's attacking in. She's got 5 attacks at strength 4, going against toughness 4, so we're looking for 4 or better. Ooh, that's actually good though, so that's 4, 8, 10 damage. Ideally would have gotten 2 more and killed him, but 10 damage is good. So 10 damage onto the Armator. Alright, so with that, the Armator's action will be next, because they are the next closest model. He is going to 4. Let me double check what that is, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so a 4 is press the attack, and because they are starting within attack range, they are going to make an attack against my Mirror Blade. Alright, so we got 4 attacks coming in. Strength 4 versus my toughness 3, so looking for 3 ups. That's 8 and 9. So my Mirror Blade has 1 wound left. He will go ahead and do 1 more attack. And that is enough to just smash the Mirror Blade into oblivion. So yeah, that would be a total of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage from our Armator. Oof. Alright, so Mirror Blade is dead and out of here. I think that means I'm going to go over here to this Mirror Blade with Glaive. He's within 2 inches of both the Ogre Breacher and the Signifier. So I'm going to do my first attack action into the Signifier. I'm also going to spend my double on Onslaught to give him +1 attack for his activations. Alright, so for this attack, we are looking at 4 attacks +1 for Onslaught. So it'll be 5 attacks at strength 4 versus toughness 4. So I'm looking for 4 or higher. So that is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage on the first attack. And on the second attack, that's going to be 5, 10. This one is cocked. 15. Oh, ow. So 15 16, 17 damage on the second attack. So crits everywhere. So our next activation is this Iron Legionary over here. He's gonna be cunning. Alrighty, so for our cunning, it's like press the attack, but he moves 5 inches for our twist. He's more than 5 away from any of my for any of my warband fighters, so he moves another 5 inches, ending right here next to this objective. So the next fighter that I'm going to move is going to be the Mindbound with double-bladed sword. We got 6-inch move. I am going to climb on top of the dangerous terrain, but since at that point it is considered to be low terrain, because it is less than an inch wide and less than an inch high, I can just move freely over it, but I will take impact damage, and I will be within 2 inches to make an attack. So let's see, do I take any impact damage from that move? I do not. It's a 4 to 5. I kind of, again, wanted that 1 damage to get the extra attack and extra strength, but let's go into that initial attack. Alrighty, so I have 3 attacks going in at 3 strength against 4 toughness, so I'm looking for 5s or 6s. Oops, that was a drop die. Drop die never count. Alright, so nothing, no damage, but the point of that was to make sure I was on the objective so it would be tied and not under my enemy's control, so they could not burn it. So our next enemy activation will be the Drill Master. That's going to be a 5. So with the Brutal Charge, she gets to move 8 inches, which will get her within that inch of her better attack weapon. And she'll be +1 strength when attacking. Let's also check to see if she takes any impact damage. Nope, no impact damage for jumping down 3 inches. And let's see what happens. Alright, so we have 4 attacks coming in at strength 5 versus my toughness 3. So they're looking for 3 or higher. Whew. That is just 1-4, which is just 2 damage onto my fighter. So I am going to, for my next activation, use my triple on Acrobatic Leap, which is a double, which allows a fighter to move as if they can fly. And this fighter is just going to move their 6 inches over to there. I want to make sure that they are still within an inch of the Golem Breacher to attack. We got to start doing some wounds on this thing because he's just going to be able to sit here and kill. So we'll be right there, so that way we can at least do 1 attack and try and get some damage. Letting me double check, but oh no, it is not. I thought this was my fighter with Destiny level. Oh no, that's the Mindbound with double-bladed sword. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our attack in. Because this fighter is wounded, they will be getting 1 extra attack. The extra strength doesn't matter because they're still strength 4 versus toughness 5. So we will be looking for 5s and 6s for damage. So 5 attacks, 5s and 6s. Alright, so we got 1, so that will be 1 damage onto the Ogre Breacher. But again, the more important thing is the fact that we are preventing them from controlling the objective, so that way they can't just burn it and win the game at the end of this turn. Next closest fighter is this Iron Legionnaire over here. That is a 1. This warband is very tactical. So we're going to go ahead and press the attack, and we'll move our 5-5 onto that objective over here, which means I have this fighter who still needs to go. We need to defend that objective piece. So we're going to go ahead and move our 6 inches, which will bring us within an inch of that Iron Legionnaire, and we'll go ahead and attack that Iron Legionnaire. And we will have 4 attacks coming in, looking for any 5s and 6s. So that's going to be a spike and a normal one, so crit and normal, so that will be 4 damage onto that Iron Legionnaire. And this is our last Iron Legionnaire to go. They are looking at a 4. So a force press the attack, putting him to about right there. That does bring him within 5 inches of one of my units, so he will not be able to move again. But for the center of this objective, which is important, okay, that gives me a little bit of breathing room because he is outside 3 inches of the center of that objective. Both these fighters are within 3, so as long as I can kill the drill master, then I'll be in control of it. But if I don't kill her, then it won't be game over. So let's go ahead and attack with this last Mirror Blade with Glaive. Alrighty, so the Mirror Blade normally has 4 attacks, but because of the twist, he gets 1 extra attack at 1 extra strength, which is actually going to be very helpful. So now I am looking for 3s or better with 5 attacks to attack into this Drill Master. That's because his strength will be 5 while her toughness is 4. So our first attack action is going to be 2, 4, 6 damage into her. So 6 damage total so far. Second attack action is going to be, so 6, that is 6 plus 5 is 11, 12, 13. Whew. So she will have 2 wounds left, but she has taken 13 damage. And that will be the end of round 2. So to summarize the end of battle round 2, essentially what we're looking at is all of the objectives are going to be contested, which means that the Iron Golems do not have control of them, so they are unable to burn and win the game. I have to make sure that these objectives either stay contested or underneath my control for 1 more turn and I will win, but otherwise it will be the Iron Golem's victory. There's a lot of wounds on the table. There's a lot of models with only 2 wounds left, so we might see a lot of bloodshed this next round. So let's go ahead and get into battle round 3. Let's go ahead and roll our initiative dice for turn 3. That guy's cocked. That guy's cocked. Alright, so we have double 6s, double 5s, a 1 and a 2. For my wild dice, do I want a better chance at going first, or do I want the ability to have shadowy recall? Let me think about that for a second, and I'll let you know what I decide and why. So, after thinking about it, I think I will use my wild dice to make it 666, just because I also have Shattered Gloom Globe, which is a triple for the Cypher Lords, as well as the Universal Inspiring Presence, which can give me an advance in the situation. And we're going to leave it up to a 50-50 chance to see who goes first. So on a 1, 2, 3, it will be the enemy. 4, 5, 6, it will be me. Alright, so it's going to be the enemy. So let's go see who will activate first. So closest model to one of mine is the Ogre Breacher. Let's see how he acts. That is not what I wanted, so that is Carnage, which is he attacks 3 times. Luckily, I don't think he's allowed to move, and I am more than an inch away, so he'll just kill one of my fighters. Alright, he has 2 wounds on him, which means he's going to be +1 attack, +1 strength, so he will be strength 7 to my toughness 3, and 3 attacks. So he'll attack 3 times, but most likely we will see some carnage. Oh yeah, so that is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage on that first attack. So that is a fighter dead. And that fighter is gone. Okay, now it is my activation. I'm looking to see who I want to go. Where did that one go? There it is. We could have the leader come in. I think I can just ignore the dwarf. I think he's far enough away that he won't really do anything. I could have the leader come in, put some more attacks on the Iron Golem, and then Shadowy Recall. I can, let's see, I got triple and a double. Can also try to make sure that that objective is secure and hope that I survive. I think that's going to be the smart move, is making sure that this objective is secure over here and I don't have to worry. So I will attack, and I will also spend the double that I have for onslaught. So attack, and then onslaught. So we'll have 4 attacks coming in. We are looking for 5s and 6s in order to try and kill off this guy. So first attack, ooh, that's good. So that's 8 damage. So he has 2 wounds left. Second attack, looking for 5s and 6s. And that is enough to kill off this Iron Golem. That is what I was hoping for, so I know that objective is secure and most likely will not be contested. Alright, so he is gone, leaving that one clear, which means that our next activation, both of those units are within the same amount of range, it's close. So we go with the model that is the most expensive, which is going to be this Drill Master. So this Drill Master, they are going to, 1, which is Cunning, so they're going to head towards the objective, and they will still be within 3 inches. And remember, I decided how they can move on Cunning with a roll of the dice on a 4-up, so they'll still be within 3 inches to attack with their whip. Alright, so because of the Blood Wind Twist, it's going to be 5 attacks with the 3-inch range at Strength 5 versus Toughness 3, so we're looking at 3 or higher. And that is going to be 4 damage, putting him to 6 wounds. Alright, so from that attack, we're now going to go over to my leader, who will go ahead and move 6 inches for the other twist and attack into the golem. So we will go ahead and do an attack into the Iron Golem. So we have 5 attacks coming in at Strength 4 versus Toughness 5, so we are looking at 5s and 6s. So that is just 1 5, so 2 more damage onto the Iron Golem. And at the end of that activation, I'm going to go ahead and use Shadowy Recall with my triple 6s. So I can pick a friendly fighter within 12 inches of my leader. It's anyone with a minion rune mark, which is everyone on the board except for the Thrallmaster. And then place them within that the value of the dice roll. So the value of the dice roll is going to be 3, or is going to be 6. So I'll pick this one. And it's about 3 inches. We'll go from here. 6 inches can put me right here. Kind of as a little bit of a buffer. I don't think the Iron Legionary can kill him. He could spike, but it's hopefully going to be a buffer that will give me some room to maneuver. So let's go into this Iron Legionary up here. He's the next one to attack. He's the next closest. He will roll a 1, so Cunning. He is on top of the objective, so he won't move, but since it acted as a press the attack, he will attack into the Mind Bound. So he has 2 attack space, but because of our twist and he has damage on him, he will be 3 attacks at Strength 4, so he's looking for 3 or higher. So far that's 1, 2 damage, and he'll do an additional attack. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 damage total. Not enough to kill him, but 7 damage. So for my next activation, I am going to go ahead and have the Mindbound with Glaive attack into the Drill Master, hopefully killing her off. So we are at 4 attacks, Strength 4 versus Toughness 4, so we are looking at 4s or higher. And that will be a crit for 5, which will be enough to kill her. And so that is the death of the Drill Master, freeing up that objective. And with the final action that I have for this Mirror Blade, I'm just going to move to be within an inch of this Iron Golem that hasn't yet gone. So this Iron Golem will go ahead and attack now for a 6, which is Carnage. So he will get 3 attack actions against that Mirror Blade. So this Iron Legionary is not damaged, so he's only getting his 2 attacks at Strength 3, so he is looking for 4s or higher. So that's 1 damage so far. Two damage so far. Alright, so 2 damage into that Mirror Blade with Glaive. Over here, I'm going to have this Mindbound attack this Iron Golem. So because they are injured, they will have 1 extra attack for 5 attacks, and 1 extra strength for strength 4, but the toughness of the Iron Legionary with shield is 5, so we're still looking for 5s and 6s. So the first attack, that one's cocked. So just 1 damage so far. Second attack, three more damage. So 4 damage. He already had 4 on him, so he is now at 8 damage. And this last activation is the Armador. He's going to roll a 6, which I believe is Brutal Charge. Let's double check though. So 6 is Brutal Charge. Armador is base movement 3, plus 1 for the twist, plus 2 for Brutal Charge, which means he gets to move 6 inches, which puts him outside a range of attacking my leader. That would have been terrible if he was able to attack him and kill him, and then it also puts him outside of 3 inches of the center of the objective. So that means I have one last move, which is this Mirror-Bound with Glaive. I believe I have contested control, or control of all of the objectives. So, and around 3, that is a win. So why don't we go ahead and try and take out this Iron Golem. He'll move to be outside of 2 inches. He's injured, so he'll get an extra attack and an extra strength. Let's see what happens. So he will be 5 attacks at strength 5, so we'll be looking for 4s or more. And he only does 5, 6, 7 damage. So 7 damage to the Iron Golem. And with that, we end with a victory for the Eyes of the Kosmos. We're able to make it into the Citadel and then sneak out of the Citadel relatively unscathed. We'll see how those injury rolls go. Let's see. We have control of this objective here. We have 2 on it while they only have 1. We have control of this objective over here. That Iron Golem is not on it. This objective is contested, so they cannot burn it. And we have control of that 4th objective over there. So let's go into the wrap-up phase, and let's start looking at what experience we got, as well as what we can do with our glory points. Alrighty, so here we are in the aftermath sequence of our campaign, of our Trial of Champions. First things first is we are going to calculate our glory points. So for our glory points, we got 3 points for taking part in a campaign battle. We got 2 glory points for winning the battle. We killed the leader of our opponent's warband, so that is 1 glory point. We ended up killing 4 out of 8 fighters. So we did kill at least 1/3 of the fighters in our opponent's warband. So that's 1 more glory point. We did not kill up to 2/3. Yeah, we did not kill up to 2/3 because we killed half. We did not kill all of our fighters. So we earned 5, 6, 7 glory points in this match. So now we're going to go ahead and spend our glory points. It costs 2 glory points to add a fighter who is between 101 and 200 points. The Illuminate is 175, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 of my glory points to bring my Illuminate back into my warband. I am also going to go ahead and spend 10 glory points on making a dominating a territory. So we'll spend all of our glory points now getting our fighter back and dominating a territory, and hopefully I won't regret that with these 2 fighters who were injured. Since we dominated territory, we're going to go ahead and explore, see what kind of territory we found. It's a D66 roll. Yellow dice will be the 10s, which is a 6. Black dice will be the 1s, which is a 2. So 62 is a chaotic nexus. So dark and malign powers coalesce at the heart of this territory, bringing the favor of the dark gods to those who claim dominance over the land. I will begin the battle with 1 additional wild dice for each area of dominated terrain that I have with this rule. So I will be starting battles with 2 wild dice. That's pretty great. And now we're going to go ahead and make our injury roll. We'll start off with the Mindbound. Yellow is 10s, black is 1s. So first one is 3. We'll re-roll you. 3, so 34. 34 is lost favor. They lose 1 destiny level. If they didn't have one, which they do not, then count this as no effects. So they suffer no effects. Awesome. And now the Mirror Blade. Rolling our 10s. 4. 45. So 45 is full recovery. They do not suffer any ill effects. So we are back to our full warband. No injuries so far, and we have bought back our Illuminate. Alright, so one last thing that we have to do is we still have to roll for artifacts, searching for lesser artifacts. So let's go ahead and roll on that. Again, 10 will be the 1, or yellow will be the 10s, which is a 4 and a 6. So 46 is, on our artifacts table from the Tome of Champions, an ancient map fragment. So though thoroughly worn by the Ravage's time, this map fragment may still lead to treasures and glories beyond imagining. It's an instant, so I apply it right now. Pick one of your areas of dominated territory with a nothing of note rule. Roll for a new rule for that territory on the territory exploration table. Treat rolls as 11 through 36 as old runes. If you have no territories with a nothing of note, instead you earn 5 glory points. So that map fragment has gotten me 5 glory points. Well, thank you very much for coming and watching. Next time we will go ahead and have our next game. So we'll have our next game next time, and we will see you on the edge of the map. Have a great time. I'll see you later. Keep telling your stories.
No, not yet. I don't know what I'm doing. What do you want on a platter? That seems rather disgusting. Also, we don't have swords. Most likely we'll end up just smashing their heads open like ripe tomatoes. What the f***?
Just saying. One of the wild beasts that roams our 8 points here. I have to keep her back, otherwise she will bump the table and move everything. So that wood plank is for her and my protection. Maybe we'll have a coalition battle of all of the warbands versus the dog. Would you like that? Would you like to fight the warbands, Nessie? Her name's Nessie, after the Loch Ness Monster. Alright, let's get back into our battle groups.